The umpire and the assistant umpire shall check in at the call area earlier and wait for the players of the next match. After receiving the score sheet, the assistant umpire shall check the information on it and put down the following information on the racket bags: time of the match, table number, name and association of the player, etc. When the players show up at the call area, the umpire shall confirm with the player his name, collect his racket for the match, and take a quick inspection on its surface. If it's found that the rubber is more than 2 millimeters shorter than the edge of the blade and there is any obvious damage or deviation on the covering, the racket cannot be used for the match and has to be replaced. If the rubber extends over 2 millimeters beyond the blade, but other aspects pass the inspection or testing later, the umpire shall then ask the player to cut the extra rubber. If not any obvious irregularities are found, the racket shall be handed over to the assistant umpire for further inspection. The umpire shall proceed to check the color of the clothing. If the shirts worn by opposing players are not sufficiently different in color and neither side is willing to change, the decision on who to change shall be made by lot by the umpire. The umpire shall do the inspection on color again after one side has changed his shirt. The umpire shall also ask both sides for the names of their advisors and on which side the advisors wish to sit. After the above work has been done, the umpire shall accompany the players for ball selection. When a racket is not selected for a full test before the match in the racket control center and after the umpire takes a quick inspection on it, the assistant umpire shall perform a detailed inspection. The assistant umpire shall first look for the ITTF logo and check the rubber brand by referring to the brand name and other information on the list of authorized racket coverings. Then the assistant umpire shall check on its flatness and thickness. For thickness, the 4 mm indentation on the net gauge shall be placed vertically against different positions of the edge of the covering, and the assistant umpire, with the eyes parallel to the indentation, shall look if the rubber is beyond the 4 mm limit. For flatness, the assistant umpire shall put the other side of the net gauge in different angles on the covering and check for the light passing through the gap. Check on the other side of the racket using the same method. When the racket passes all inspections, the assistant umpire shall put the racket in the bag. The quantity of balls to be chosen by the players before the match shall be announced beforehand by the referee to the umpires and team captains. The players shall give the chosen balls to the umpire, who shall first ask both sides to determine the second match ball and put it in the ball box. The first match ball agreed upon by both sides shall be kept by the umpire. If the match ball has not been agreed by both players before the match, the umpire shall take at random one of the first preferred match balls by either player. If the player's racket has passed all the inspections by the assistant umpire, the player shall wait at waiting area for entry onto the court. If any aspect of the racket is found illegal, the umpire shall check again. Once confirmed, the player will be notified to change the racket, and if the player refuses to do so, the umpire shall call the referee, who will make a final decision on the legality of the racket. If time permits, the umpire shall inspect the spare racket. If not, the spare racket shall be inspected after the match. If one player comes to the call area first, the umpire shall confirm player's name and collect the racket, and then ask the player to wait for a while. If the opposing player doesn't show up even after the waiting time, the umpire shall let the other player choose balls and the side of the advisor's chair. The latecomer shall change shirts in case of a clash in color and lose the right to choose balls. If a player doesn't come to the call area on time, the umpire shall report to the referee.